This is National 5 revision and we're looking at scientific notation. I've got two questions here for you to try. Just freeze the video and try these questions and I'll talk through how to do it. Okay, this should help you with your revision for your assessments in January, February timeframe. So let's go ahead and do the two questions, okay? So the calculator questions, these two. So first thing, we've got a multinational car making company made a loss of, and that's £2.55 times 10 to the power of 8 in 2005, okay? So calculate the loss made by the company per minute. Right, so the first thing we're going to be looking at here is the year. Okay, so this year here, 2005. So question is it a leap year or is it just a non-leap year? Okay, so the way we could work that out is that any year that's divisible by 4 will be a leap year. So the year 2000, well, that's a leap year, so that is the 29th of February. 2004 does, 2008 does, 2005 does not divide, so it's a non-leap year, okay? So a non-leap year, okay? So that's why that year is actually given in there. Right, let's go ahead and answer the question. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down a couple of stages here for us to work through this. So that's the loss it made in a year. So what we'll do is we'll work out the loss it made in a day, okay? So loss made in a day. So I've got to remember how many days there are in a normal year, and that's going to be 365 days, okay? So loss made in a day will be this number here. So the loss that they made for the year, and what we'll do is we'll just divide that by 365. What that'll do is that will give me the loss made in a day. I'm not going to calculate that out just now. I'm going to just continue the calculation going forward. So if I know that's how much it lost in a day, if I calculate the loss made in an hour. Okay, so per hour, it'll be that value that's there. I can either work it out in the calculator or I can just take it down the way I'm doing it here. So remember that was divided by 365. Now what I'm going to do to find out per hour, I know there's 24 hours in a day, so what I'll do is I'll divide that by 24. And I could write out the answer there and then work it out from there. I'm going to just keep it as that calculation because I now want to work out the loss made per, I'll just say per minute. Okay, and that's really what I've been asked to do in this question. So this should be my final answer when I do this calculation. So I've got the loss per year. I'm dividing it by 365, which works out the loss per day. I'm dividing that by 24, which gives me the loss per hour. And then what I'll do is I'll divide that by 60, and that gives me the loss per minute. So if I work that out, that should give me an answer. Right, so onto the calculator. What we'll do is we'll just put all of this in to the calculator. Right, here we go. So we'll go for 2.55, and the button that I'm going to use in the calculator is going to be this exponential button down at the bottom here. So I'm going to press that, and what it will do up on the display, it'll give me times 10 to the power of. So I can put a power in here now, and I'll put the power of 8 in there. Okay, so there's my 8 going in. What I'll then do is I'm going to divide that by 365. That's that number. Divide it by 24. Divide it by 60. The answer that I should get out here, well, that answer there, all I need to do is hit the SD button, and that should give me, change it from a fraction into a decimal value. So there's my decimal value there. I don't really like that one there. I don't like the recurring decimals with the dots above the numbers. So I'm going to press the SD button once more. And that's my answer there. Okay. So I'm going to write that down. So that's going to be £485. Okay. 1598174 from my calculator. And really, to be a bit more sensible, what I'm going to do is I'm going to round that number. I'm going to round it to the nearest pence. So the nearest pence would be in here. That 9's going to change the 5 up to a 6. That'll be £485.16. And I'll just say that's to the nearest penny. Okay, that's that question completed. Okay, so as I said, what you could do is you could calculate the value there, then divide that value by 24, get a value, divide that by 60, get a value. But I've just done it all in the one calculation there. So that's it done. Right then, second question. Okay, there's only two in this section here. So what we'll do is we'll work this part out here, okay? So question 21 it is, and what we've got in astronomy, distances can be measured using different units. Okay, for example, 1 parsec is equal to 3.08 times 10 to the power of 13 kilometers. So quite some distance. And we've got 1 astronomical unit, and that's going to be equal to 1.49599 times 10 to the power of 8 kilometers. So the good thing is I've got these both in the same units in kilometers. What I have to do is I have to calculate the number of astronomical units in a parsec, giving your answer in scientific notation. So at the end I'm going to change whatever answer I get into a times 10 to the power type of answer. Right then, let's go ahead and do this calculation. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to work out the number of astronomical units in a parsec. So number of astronomical units in a parsec, well, that's going to be equal to, so the good thing is with having the kilometres there, what I'll say is it will be the kilometres in a parsec all divided by the kilometres in an astronomical unit. Okay, so that's the calculation that I'm going to do. So I'll write down the calculation that it's going to be. So I'm going to just write it in fraction form. So I'm going to go for 3.08 times 10 to the power of 13. If you can see that there. That's going to be divided by 1.49599 times 10 to the power of 8. And I'm just going to make sure that I put that into the calculator correctly. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is with this question, I'm going to put use the fraction button. So this fraction button here, this one. So I'm going to press that one. It sets up the fraction for me in this calculator. And what I'll do is I'll go for 3.08. I'll use the exponential button at the bottom, this one down here. Pressing that, and I'm putting to the power of 13. So that's that top line in. Bottom line, I'm going to just use my cursor key, move it down one, and then I'll go for 1.459599, and that's to the power of, just using that exponential button at the bottom, and that's to the power of 8. I'm going to press the equals button, and what I should get is an answer like that there. So I'll write that answer down. Okay, so that's going to be 20588. 3.7292. Okay, great, that's that. Just go back to the question and remember what it says is give the answer in scientific notation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that to times 10 to the power of something. Right, so the way I'm going to do that is when I get it into scientific notation, or sometimes called standard form, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the decimal point to sit in between the first and the second number. So it must be in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work out how far I have to move it to the left to get it in there. So there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the decimal point in there. I'm not going to have 2 decimal points in that answer, but I'm going to just rewrite it again. So there's 2 point, and then the 0588 37292. Make sure you don't have 2 decimal points in there, and then I'm going to say it's times 10 to the power of, and if I moved it 5 places, so I've moved it 5 places to get it into that position, it's times 10 to the power of 5. Okay, so the number of astronomical units in a parsec is equal to 2.05883792 times 10 to the power of 5. Okay, so that would be that question done there as well. Okay, so that's just 2 questions done on scientific notation. One to do with the years, working down from a year loss down to a loss that was made in a minute. So trying to work through the logic in that one. And then just a bit of division, and then a rechange back into, from normal form back into standard form, or scientific notation as it's called. Okay, so hopefully this has helped you with some of your scientific notation revision. Remember, there's loads of questions on the internet, loads of questions that you could find in your school's website, or you can look at the SQA papers to see what type of questions there are in there. So good luck with scientific notation.